Hey everybody, today we're going to learn how to time a looper on a Singer 114W103 or Cornely style Chainstitch Embroidery machine. And for those of you watching on Patreon, we have an extra segment at the end of the video all about how to maintain your looper box, so stick around. Alright, so next up we're going to learn about how to disassemble the machine so that we can do the looper timing, and then we're going to put the whole thing back together. So let's jump right into it. First thing we're going to do is remove the needle bar. That's done by loosening the thumb screw, and you can just pull the needle bar straight up and out of the machine. I'm going to put that to the side for now. Next thing I'm going to do is loosen the clamp on the presser foot. Lift up the lever and then rotate the nipple till it's at its highest point, and then I can just slide the foot right out. Next I'm going to reach under the machine and I'm going to loosen this thumb screw that's circled in yellow on the right hand side. I'm going to loosen it all the way, and then I'm going to press up against the bottom of the needle plate, which will allow me to get a finger under the plate and remove it. Once that's done, I screw them back together just to keep them in the same place. Alright, now we're going to learn how to time the machine. I'm going to start by explaining all the names of the different parts. So here we go. This is your looper. This is the stitch forming device. We're going to zoom in here and you can see at about the 12 to 1 o'clock mark there's a little notch, and we are going to focus on that in the upcoming segment. So here we've got the thumb screw and the nose of the machine. I'm rotating the hand wheel to bring the nipple up to its highest point. Now I'm going to tilt the machine back on its hinges, and this is the handle and the worm gear. Next I'm going to show you how to time the machine. You can refer to this section, or there's going to be longer form written directions at the end of this segment. So you can just go to that and pause if you are a person who learns better by seeing directions in writing. So I'm bringing the nipple up to its highest point. At the same time, the worm gear is going to be all the way to the left of its stroke. I'm loosening the set screw on the worm gear. And so once we have the set screw loose, we can rotate the worm gear freely on the operating rod. And that's how we will rotate the looper and adjust the timing. Make sure that the nose is pointed towards 6 o'clock, and we're going to get the notch in the looper to the 12 o'clock position. So in green shows the looper at 12 o'clock. That's the correct timing. Circled in red, we've got the looper at 9 o'clock. That's an incorrect timing. So it's just sort of a go, no go. And this is what it looks like from the top. You'll see I'm rotating the nipple till it's at its highest point, and at that position we want the nose to be facing 6 o'clock towards the operator and the notch in the looper towards 12, somewhere between 12 and 1. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm just going to tighten the screw in the worm gear back up, and I'm visually inspecting to make sure that all of my conditions here are met. One of the finer points here is that we need to make sure that the stop collar, which holds the spring and the worm gear to the operating rod, is flush with the end of the operating rod. Alright, so here are the written timing conditions. You want to bring the nipple to its highest point. That's also going to be when the worm gear is all the way to the left of its stroke. Then we need to make sure that the nose and thumb screw are at 6 o'clock, which is towards the operator, and the notch in the looper is between 12 and 1 o'clock. You're also going to want to make sure that the stop collar of the worm gear is flush with the end of the operating rod, and or the worm gear can travel through the looper box without striking the looper box. Let's put it back together. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do here is reattach the needle plate. There are 12 pairs of holes on the needle plate that correlate to your needle and nipple sizing. I'm using a size 6 needle and nipple combination, so I'm going to count up to the 6th largest hole, and then attaching the thumb screw from the bottom. I'm going to leave the thumb screw just a little bit loose, and now I'm going to slide the foot clamp onto the foot with the thumb screw facing the back side of the machine, and then raising the presser foot lifter, I can just slide that collar up and attach the foot. Now I should have zoomed out a little bit for this section, but I didn't, so I'll do my best to explain what's going on. I am going to drop the needle bar and the needle into the holder, the central tube, and when you do this, what you need to make sure of is that the needle is centered directly in the hole on the needle plate. So I insert the needle bar and I bring it all the way down so that the needle is in the hole, and then I will rotate the handle underneath to make sure that the needle isn't striking the needle plate in any direction, and if I need to adjust that, I'll push up against the needle plate from the bottom with the screw and rotate it so that it's centered. And that's that. So now we'll get this little baby stitching. Check it out.